Never drink and drive, and never drink and surf on eBay. Torq American is all about the passion different people have around the world for classic American cars, but it's also my story. I'm one English guy who got a little bit too tipsy when I was on eBay and got way out of my depth when I bought my dream car. Cars are driving and parking themselves nowadays, but people like me really appreciate American vehicles with amazing styling and buckets of soul. These cars are far from fuel efficient and they're simple compared to what's on the road today, but they're from a bygone era when fuel was cheap and being big was best. Through these vehicles the American dream lives on, but it isn't only in America, as you will see. So when I was a kid, I liked the 18, Knight Rider, but my real favourite was the Dukes of Hazzard because it featured the General Lee. Oh yeah. And then I discovered the Chicago Bears, and after college I got a great job working on the NFL coverage for a network here in the UK. It was awesome meeting all the players, I really loved it. And sometimes I got to meet the cheerleaders too, although I myself was never that bothered. I just used to make all my friends jealous on Facebook. So I turned up for work one day at the TV studios and there was a black Dodge Charger, this one here. And that was the first time I met a chap called Mike, who would later become a really good friend. Mike even let me sit in his Dodge Charger, and while I was sitting there I was thinking, this is amazing, this is my dream car, I want one of these. So I started to save up for my own Dodge Charger, but unfortunately, just a little while after I met Mike and set my heart on my dream car, I was made redundant from the big TV network. The one good thing was I got a long service award just before I got the push, a new iPad. So after my redundancy, I went freelance and things initially started to go really well, and I would still monitor auctions on eBay for different Dodge Chargers. So one day I took my girlfriend for a big slap-up meal and I said to her, I want to bring the iPad so I can follow this one particular auction that I've been monitoring all week. She said, okay, fine. So we ordered our food and then I turned on the iPad, we got on the Wi-Fi and we started to monitor the auction. And I was surprised that this one particular car in Missouri didn't seem to climb as high as all the rest had that I'd previously seen. And I said to her, this is interesting. This guy seems to have a car that's undervalued. And she said, why don't we bid? And I said, well, because I don't have an eBay account yet. I didn't want to trust myself with one at that point. She said, let's use my account. So that's what we did. We used her account to bid on my dream car in the middle of America, and bugger me, we won the auction. And that's what scared me. I'd suddenly bought my dream car that was in 100 different bits from people I didn't even know in the middle of America. And it was frightening. Was my dream going to turn into a bit of a nightmare? Well, I was hoping not, but it was highly probable. Me winning that auction changed my life and set me on a journey where I would meet some great piston heads with amazing stories similar to my own. This makes me smile because you've saved this car from a fate worse than death.
Possible banger though.
When you drive a car like this, and people probably have the same experience when they drive something special. You don't just drive it, every time you get in it, it's like an event.
It's dreams and hopes that keep us going. If we don't have that, we ain't got nothing.
I want to tell you their stories along with mine over a series of episodes starting now.
Did you ever had a dream?
So just a couple of weeks after I won the auction, I already had a trip planned to go and see the Bears play in Chicago with a couple of friends of mine that used to play with me at the Ipswich Cardinals. So I contacted the vendors, Brian and Katie, who lived in the Kansas City area, and I said, I'm going to come down and help you pack up my car for transportation back to the UK. Well, it turns out Brian and Katie of Peculiar, Missouri were anything but peculiar. They couldn't have been more helpful and accommodating. Great people.
The grill's in it, so
Awesome.
so it makes the front end of the car look quite a bit better. we put it together, and Katie stood there, and I thought she was kind of quiet, and I looked at her, and she kind of teared up when she seen the front end and the grill on the car, because that was we called it her car, and the orange car in here we called mine, and we got a Impala that we called, that was actually Buster's car, and you'll see why, because he can ride in it.
Well, when Brian explained that my Charger was really Katie's car and she was getting a bit emotional about it, I felt really bad. And one day I hope to bring over Brian and Katie so they can see what I've done with the car, and hopefully they'll like what they see. Talking of liking what they see,
And there she is. Wow. That's my baby.
There it is.
yes, there she was. She was in need of a lot of work and attention, but she was there in front of me. I was face to face with my dream, and it felt great. Keep watching, because in the next episode we get closer to the Charger and Brian takes us around his other classics. Oh, and don't forget to follow Torq American on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and visit torqamerican.com. But for now, it's bye-bye. Bye-bye.